Cheers, I do, buckaroos. How the heck are you? Well, it feels like winter. I guess it's just officially fall, but we're finally getting some cold here. It feels like we've gone straight from summer to winter. Anyways, in that note, I got my fake fireplace on. I tried to set up to do the video in front of my fake fireplace, but I couldn't get it right, man. Couldn't get it right. Anyway, going to Climax Blues Band there for you for no apparent reason, other than just the song I heard in my head. But anyway, there's my real fireplace behind me. We just don't have it lit yet. I've got some Rolling Standard 4-grain whiskey, and I've got it poured rocks and neat. Oh gosh, I wish I could read that. I don't have great lighting right here in this particular corner. We're just going to let that go for now, because I've read that in some other videos. Damn, we ain't gonna go there. Anyway, so yeah, I do have it poured rocks in here. I've got rocks in my Thomastown glass, neat in my Jim Beam glass. That's a perfect neat glass right there. I'm gonna drink the rocks first, but I am gonna try the nose on the neat first, kind of compare the nose on both. It's interesting. It's interesting whiskey. It's got that kind of a, using a word that's more typically applied to certain kind of craft IPAs, it's got sort of that dankness on the nose. I feel a lot of rice spice. This is a 4-grain whiskey, and if I can remember the particulars here, if I can get my bifocals. The problem with it, we really like this place, other than the lighting isn't great in the living room, which is typically not a problem unless I'm trying to read something. Yeah, I think I can give it a shot here. Now, throughout history, the American Railroad has stood for growth and perseverance, from the stockyards of Kansas City to the railways connecting our nation. Each freight train's journey represented a new beginning. Rolling Standard Midwestern 4-grain whiskey is our expansion to something new, a complex combination of barley, wheat, corn, and rye. Yeah, they're not kidding. It is a rather complex whiskey, but it is approachable. I know that can be a contradiction, but it is. You may not get everything the first time. Quite frankly, every time I poured me a little bit from this whiskey, I picked up something new. But you certainly feel a little bit of that rye on the nose, but you also feel some of the barrel, a little spice from the barrel. The oak itself, though, it feels muted compared to everything else around it. I certainly feel like I get plenty of vanilla on the nose. Again, I mentioned both rice spice and barrel spice. I feel like you can find some cinnamon in there. And on the nose, I'm feeling toffee more than caramel. So now I'm going to switch gears and go straight to the rocks. I don't want too much water to get in here. So, as this has melted a couple minutes here, what I noticed right away is I feel more of just the oak on the nose. Whereas neat, the oak is definitely a supporting player. Here the oak is in the forefront. I certainly feel some vanilla, but I feel it in a different way. So there's a sweeter, almost a sweet cream vanilla going on. Here I feel a toffee, but here the toffee is the supporting player. So anyway, I'm going to take a drink here. I have been using this Thomastown glass for damn near everything since I bought the thing. I really love this glass because it is fine for rocks drinking. It is a rocks glass after all. But it's also perfect for cocktails too. I love to make my Manhattans in here. It's just about the right size. Yeah, I found a different fireplace video, so I want to use it for a video. But it's different because you don't really see the fireplace, you just see the fire. So as I tried to set it up, it looked like I was, in the fires of hell, man, which would have been a great video too. Here, Beer Whisperer in the Fires of Hell. Anyway, I'd had to put on a red shirt and everything. But I couldn't get to the angle quite right. My wife has this other table that she uses for sewing I was trying to use because it was a little taller than the table that I typically use, but I couldn't get everything in the shot that I wanted to get in the shot, so I said, oh, screw it. I'm just going to sit in my comfortable chair because I've got to sit in an uncomfortable plastic chair to use the fake fireplace. So anyways, but I'm watching the fake fireplace as I do this video. Anyway, I digress. I lead a life, don't I? Anyway, I'm gonna take a drink now. Oh, this stuff is beyond gorgeous. It just is. I mean, it's freaking outstanding. It is a little different. I mean, again, I don't know if this applies here, but it just has that. Using my craft beer terms, it just has that dankness about it. So you can feel those 4 grains kind of come together. That combination where you certainly feel a little bit of that rice spice, the sweetness from the corn. What the wheat does here, though, is sort of soften the body. Hey, there's Shadow. The wheat kind of softens the body. I got to sneeze here now. Well, maybe. It's stuck. Well, I was ready to go then. Anyway, cheeseburger. That's tasty, man. That is wonderful, Martha. Anyway, yeah, it's good. You know, it's one of those whiskeys that grow on. Every once in a while, I'll buy a product and I'll have make my first drink out of it, and I like it a lot. And then by the time I get to the end of the bottle, I'm not as crazy about it. But every once in a while, the opposite of that happens. Whereas I really liked it the first time I poured it, but it seems like every time I pour this, I find something new and I enjoy it even more. The aromas, kind of that dankness threw me off at first, right? This is the only product, unfortunately, that I bought from this distillery, so I'm a little upset with myself for not trying more of their products. I just wanted to try this one because this one felt like it was the most in my wheelhouse of what was available there. And it definitely is. I mean, I can't really compare it to the Thomastown products because it's a different animal. 4-grain whiskey, the Thomastown. I bought their double oak bourbon and their Pendergast Royal Gold bourbon. You really can't compare them because they're different animals. The honest truth is which one I like. The one I like better would depend on my mood at any particular moment. I really love that double oaked. At the distillery, they made a Manhattan out of that Pendergast Royal Gold. It's just amazing. Drinking neat, that whiskey is just as good as it gets, in my opinion. But that double oaked is nice too. It makes a beautiful Manhattan, even though they use the other one at their distillery, in their, I was gonna say tap room, but it's not a brewery. But y'all are following me, right? But that double oak, man, for $40 is without a doubt the best $40 bourbon I've ever purchased. And I can't remember the price point on this, in all honesty. If memory serves, I think it was about $42. So there we go. Hey, that's it. That's all I got. There is no more. I am Tom. No, I'm not done yet. My God, we're going to go to Neat. It's going to be one long video, man. I'm just going to keep talking. Anyway, and then I'm going to take a break. Now, this is my before dinner cocktail, you see. I got off work. I didn't have lunch at work, so when I got off work early, so we had a late lunch. So we're gonna have well, not necessarily a late dinner for most people, but a later dinner for us anyway. Oh mercy! I've never been one of those eat dinner at 8 o'clock though types. It's just not me, man. Oh mercy! So this is my cocktails before dinner. I mean, I'm gonna get up and fix some dinner here. The other day, the local Hy-Vee was running a special. You pick up a bag and everything, the meat, deli, cheese, that kind of stuff. What you put in the bag is 20% off. So I bought. We just loaded up, man. I dipped in the savings, so we're pretty good for probably a couple months, to be honest with you. But anyway. We never did, when we went on our anniversary trip, we hit a lot of places, but neither one of us are types that really want to go into fine dining restaurants. We're just not pretentious. It's not really our thing. But so what I did, so we didn't have that big extravagant dinner. So I got us a couple nice bacon wrapped fillets, and it's got one lobster tail. We're gonna split the tail. I'll be honest with you, we'll probably split one of the fillets and I'll cook the other one in the morning for breakfast, because we don't really eat a lot at a time, I should say. Oh gosh. So as you would expect, I mean, the flavors are amplified neat. It is really a whiskey that probably should be treated neat. However, it does work on the rocks as well. You do lose some notes though. You do pick up some others, so that you'll have to decide for yourself if the trade-off is worth it. For me, it just depends. I mean, sometimes I want some rocks, sometimes I want some neat. I only did the rocks this time to do a video using both, but to be honest, now that we are getting colder, I'll probably serve the rest of the bottle neat unless I make a cocktail out of it. And I did actually. I was talking about a Manhattan with the Pendergast Royal Gold and the Tomstown Double Oak, which both are just incredible in a Manhattan. Even though you typically use a rye whiskey for a Manhattan, because that bourbon uses rye as a secondary, it does lend itself well for a Manhattan. However, I did make a Manhattan with this the other day, and it was brilliant. Somehow it works, even though, again, it is a completely different animal. You know, the one thing I liked about the Manhattan that I had at Tomstown was how dry it finished. And, you know, I hesitate to order it out because some places will put in too much sweet vermouth. And at Tomstown, they made it perfectly. So when I made them at home, I kind of made them the way I like them. And when I made it with the Pendergast Royal Gold, it tastes damn near exactly like the one I had at Tomstown. The Double Oak was about the same too, and what I noticed about it was how dry it finished. However, when I had this whiskey, I noticed it finishes rather dry as well. And when I made it with the Manhattan, I don't have this doesn't have as much barrel notes in it, but it does. Again, you do feel the rye, and the addition of the corn makes it rather different. So anyway, not the corn, the addition of the wheat is what I meant to say. I said corn, I meant to say wheat. Anyway, I better get up and finish my dinner, man. I was getting everything prepped earlier, just kind of getting ready. Got my meat seasoned, left it out for a little bit, wanted to, you know, get to room temp before I tossed her in the skillet. If the weather was better, I'd put her on the grill. But I got a process. Anyway, I digress. I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, pervert wisdom, and all around good guy. Cheers, y'all. Damn, that's good. I do again, I can't remember if this was a $40 or $50 whiskey. If memory serves, it runs about 40. But whatever the price, it really is worth it. It is, I should have mentioned earlier, but I didn't. It is 92 proof. The bottle says batch number 4, or bottle number 1262. I'm a fan. Cheers, y'all.